Okay, there's a weapon that we all carry around that very few of us know how to use, and yet it's available to everybody. In this last week, a viral video has gone around that shows somebody using this weapon, and I'm going to go into it a little bit and show you why it's important, why this video went viral, in my opinion, and then where can we go for more good information on stuff like this. Now, listen, if you like how we cover all the information here, the best place for you to go is to surviveviolence.com. Give us your email. Take the free masterclass. It is a free masterclass. I can talk a lot more in depth about the subjects. I can also talk a lot more bluntly about the subjects when you go there. Have to be very careful how you use this platform. And I highly encourage you to do it for a couple reasons. One, the content's great that you're going to get. Number two, by giving us your email, we know we can keep in touch with you. So if something ever happens that this platform's not available, we can still reach you and get you great content. So it's worth it all around, and a lot of people that have taken the class just have really raved about it, and I'm really, the comments have been great. So please take a chance, go over to surviveviolence.com and get some great information. All right, so let's go to the video that everybody's been talking about. Now, this happened at a baseball game. It happened at I think in Colorado at a Rockies game, and there was a Padres fan. They were playing the Padres, San Diego Padres, and they got into it. There's an altercation. It was really stupid. This guy, his buddy, gets thrown out for vaping, and I guess some comments were made when the guy was leaving, and his friend took offense to that and decided to go over and punch a guy. So you're gonna watch this. It's very quick, but I'm gonna have to do it probably 3 times, and then I'm gonna show you why I think this video went viral. All right. Boom. 1. And there's a lot of you hear a lot of background noise. And he hits him pretty hard. Obviously knocks him out right away. But no reason to play the audio. So let's see it again. Boom. And one more time. Okay, so the reason I believe this went viral is because it really showed use of body weight in the punch. Now, it wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, but if you notice, this guy's punch, he came in, it was just a straight blast that came through. He rotation of the shoulders, full penetration through on a body weight shot, and he got all of his body into that shot, which quickly put the guy out. I think people recognize that, and that was the big deal. And I've been saying for quite some time, the one thing that we all carry around is our body weight. No matter what you weigh, if you learn how to use your body weight, you can hit somebody with a tremendous amount of force. And yet very few people train that. Boxers do for sure, and some MMA fighters are pretty good at it. But body weight deployment is something that's almost kind of a lost art. Even in boxing these days, it's not as important as it used to be. And why is that? Because the competition side of it kind of took over. Now, just so you understand, it doesn't have to be a lot of weight. I found this video the other day of a guy training in the gym. He's holding up a dumbbell. I think it's about a 35-pound dumbbell. And, people have been asking me about joint breaks and everything and how easy it is, to do joint break. What I want you to show is body weight put in the right area. Now, instead of body weight, we've got a dumbbell that really doesn't have a lot of acceleration on it. And it kind of just flips over on this guy and knocks him on his ass. So let's watch it. See that? Now, he didn't break the ankle, but did you see how it buckled him? It took his balance right out, outside. He had to slammed right into the air bike. It's pretty funny. It's an assault bike, and definitely gotten some assault on that. But let's watch it one more time and watch it a little bit and look at the ankle and look at the reaction. Look how the ankle bends. Watch how his body weight goes. And that's just with about, 40 pounds of really unaccelerated weight going into that area. Now, if that was your heel going in and you were stomping through on that, you'd get a huge result. This is how you break joints. This is how you rip and tear connective tissue. Again, body weight. That's what's so important. It's not statically touching and pulling back. That kid, when he threw the punch, everything went into the punch. He could have been a little bit closer. He could have, walked through a little bit more, but he put enough of his body weight in to where it just had a devastating effect and knocked that individual out right away. Same thing here. There was just enough weight to drop this guy. Now, again, did not break the structure of the ankle. He's able to stand right back up. I'm sure it hurts. I'm sure the connective tissue got stretched, and I'm sure you're going to be sore from that. But again, the reason I'm showing this to you is to show you that deployment of body weight is so important. Now, when I got introduced to this, I was a young kid. I was at the Navy library. My mom used to just drop us off when she couldn't stand us anymore. My brother and I would be at the Navy library. We were both Navy brats. And we'd have to, entertain ourselves by going and reading. I would always go in the sports area and read sports. And I saw this book one day. It was called Championship Fighting by Jack Dempsey. Now, I knew who Jack Dempsey was because I studied all the boxers when I was a kid. My grandfather got me into boxing very early. So I looked at, now, just by chance, I opened it up. And the first graphic I saw was this one right here. And when you read it, Jack is writing about body weight deployment, and he's showing how powerful accelerated body weight can be. And he said, even, I think it's a 10-pound baby, drops out of a 2-story building on top of a 200-pound trucker and will take the trucker out, probably kill him. And that's the graphic that I saw. That was my intro. I was hooked. Just thinking of a baby falling on top of a guy. And it's just such a grotesque image that, especially if you're a young kid, I was thinking about 10 or 11 at the time, that just sticks with you. That visual sticks with you. And well, now there were other things in there that showed about the idea of dropping your body weight. Jack Dempsey was famous for body weight shots. He was only 187 pounds, and he was able to put tremendous amount of force into each one of his strikes because he knew how to drop his body weight. He had a front step where he would just, kind of almost lunge forward and just drop his body weight into each and every shot. And that's why he was such a powerful heavyweight for his time and for his size. This book, I still have this. I highly encourage you to get this. What's really interesting was when he wrote this, what forced him to write this was the fact that boxing was getting away from using body weight and aggressive punching and aggressive striking. It was going much more into the points and scoring points and winning on technicalities. And Jack thought that was a huge problem. And the reason he thought it was a huge problem was because he said, hey, only very few people, very few boys, it was boys back then, are only going to be able to ever go at the elite ranks, the elite amateur and then even the more elite pro level. He goes, there's only so many people are going to get that skill set. But if you teach everybody boxing and you teach everybody how to strike with body weight, now you've got a really good self-defense option for everybody that everybody can learn. And that's why he went through and he covered this subject with such detail, because when you see body weight deployed correctly, you will definitely get a result. What we like to say in our training is you want to make sure that your belt buckle travels through wherever that person was. I remember, some of the old boxing coaches would talk to me all the ideas. Make sure you hit him all the way through your elbow. And so meaning when the punch comes in, you don't stop until your elbow's gone all the way through. There's all sorts of different methods that people would get you to deploy your body weight in. But it's absolutely a subject that's worth looking at. And if you're interested, again, the place to go is to surviveviolence.com, because we do cover that. We cover the use of body weight. I find it very important because a 90-pound woman can learn to deploy a lot of that 90 pounds into strikes. And it's been very interesting when people understand how to deploy body weight into strikes. It's a game changer. But very few people, teach it. Very few people know how to do it. So I would highly encourage you to take a look at it. I would definitely get Championship Fighting. You can get it now on Amazon. It was out of print for a while, but now you can get it. Just a great read, really interesting. But again, I get a lot of questions a lot of times, and I'm realizing the way people are training, you're training to, statically hit. Just arms and legs with no body weight behind it. Remember, your body weight is that Mack truck that's going to go all the way through. Your arms and your legs can essentially just end up being hood ornaments if you don't have the engine block behind it. And so you want to make sure that you hit with that full Mack truck on everything you have, and whatever you carry on you, that's what you can deploy into it. And the good part about it is the universe does not care whether you have 200 pounds of fat or 200 pounds of, amazingness like myself. A little more than 200 pounds, but you get the point. It's the weight. The weight is the weight. And learning how to use it can be a game changer for you, and it can absolutely save your life. So anyways, I just want to tell you that a lot of people hit me up about that viral video, and just, some of the points being made to me were just ridiculous. You know me, totally avoidable situation, never should have happened. But what do? We take some good information out of a really stupid situation. So again, stay safe and look forward to your comments.